Hey, welcome to Winkler Knives headquarters. I'm Jason, and today we're going to talk about the Sheath upgrade kit from Winkler Knives. When you buy a Winkler knife, a lot of times they will come with the discrete carry monoblock system sheath. So if you look at it, it comes with a spring steel clip. It's got some spacers, some screws, and all that good stuff. It's designed for a right-handed carry, left-handed carry, or horizontal or vertical, however you want to set it up. And in other videos, we've shown you how to modify your carry based off of this system. Well, we also sell a sheath upgrade kit that I have spread out here that we're going to talk about that will allow you to carry it on molly attachments, or allow you to carry it on a duty belt, or perhaps even a drop low type system, or if you want it a little lower off your belt, or on a belt itself without the spring steel clips even being part of it. So let's talk about what comes in the upgrade kit. So the first thing is a leather loop, and this is going to be used whenever you put it directly to a leather belt or a Cadura belt, whatever kind of belt you got. But that is where you get rid of the spring clips, and you're just carrying it on a belt itself. The second part is the drop low loop, and it will allow you to carry the entire system a little lower. Like if you don't want it high riding and you want it a little lower, this will allow you to carry it lower utilizing the standard hardware. The last one is the molly setup. So it comes with some malice clips, it comes with some shorter screws, and it comes with some shorter posts. It also comes with an additional bolt-on plate to allow you to adjust and carry it horizontal, vertical, at an angle, or however you want to do that. So that's what we're going to discuss today. I'm going to show you how to take it apart, put it back together, depending on the configuration that you want to use to carry your Winkler knife. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take apart this system so that you know what you've got and you know how to use it. So simply a Phillips head screwdriver will get you in action. Take out your screws. I recommend doing this on a table because you don't want stuff to go flying and falling and going all over the place. So that way, if you're sitting right here on the table, you're able to keep everything close and located. So once we remove our screws, we've got our 4 screws. These are 3/8 inch screws. We simply lift off the bolt-on plate. If you look on the bottom, there's 2 spacers. On each post, there's a thin and a thicker. So we can break that loose. Push our posts out. And now we have all of the hardware set aside to set it up for the leather belt carry. So I'm a right-handed carrier. I would like to carry this system on my belt, normal ride, and I'm going to carry it in a vertical position. So to set that up, I'm simply going to take the leather loop. I'm going to put the post through it. I'm just going to put 2 at a time so I can hold them in place. I'm going to take a thin washer, if I can find a thin one. There's a thin washer or spacer, and put it on. Then I'm going to put a thicker one on top of it. That typically will hold them together. A thin and a thicker one. Sometimes you got to give it a little love to get it to go together there, but that holds it together for you, so that's awesome. Again, I'm going to put my post, a thin and a thicker. Finally, the last post, the thin, and then the thicker. So after I have that in place, I simply line it up over the holes where I want to carry it. Make sure everything lines up real good. Roll it over, holding the back. I'm still holding the back, and I'm just going to start each and every screw. Once I get them started in, it's almost a simple process. And I'm not going to super tighten these up because we're going to go ahead and do something else right after that. But let me show you how that ends up. So I've got everything screwed in. I'm going to give it just a little bit of tightness so it doesn't shake around while we're doing the rest of this. Drink a lot of coffee today. If you can't tell, I'm shaking a little bit. So now your leather belt will run right through this space created, and you can carry it. The leather belt goes right through here, and it would carry right here on my hip. The beautiful part of it is I can also run it horizontally through here because the space is still there. So I can run it horizontally. I can run my belt and carry it here if I'd like to. So this is the leather belt loop configuration. So this is how you want to get rid of the spring steel clips. You want a nice leather setup. That is your setup. All right, so I just went through the explanation and how to put together this system with the belt loop, or the leather belt loop, so you can carry it vertical, horizontal, or however you want to using the leather system. Now we're going to talk about the drop loop that comes in the Sheath upgrade kit. If you remember, I simply took this system off a little earlier, holding it together with some spacers and some posts. It was sitting right here when I got it from the factory. I simply took this off. Now I'm going to need to remove the spring clip itself from this. So again, a Phillips head screwdriver is all you need to do that. Screw it off. Screw it off. So I'm just going to leave this all together. It's got a spacer, a short post, and 2 short screws. I'm going to take that and I'm going to simply screw it to the drop plate. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it right here just like that. So it'll sit just like this once I get it screwed together. So I'm going through the back. Screw that down. These small screws and big hands are a little hard to work with sometimes. Again, Phillips head screwdriver is all you need. Tighten it down like you want it. Make sure it's good and snug. Then I'm going to take this piece, this is the drop loop, and I'm going to attach it to the piece that comes factory, the bolt-on factory plate. And I'm simply going to put it on top, stagger it on top just like that. So I'm going to take the post, put it through. I will need a thin spacer, and a thick spacer. Then on the other side, just take my post, stick it through, thin spacer, thick spacer, and while that's all together just like that, should hold it in place. I'm going to go ahead and put the other posts in. So again, the post, thin spacer, then a thick one, last post, thin, the post goes in, thin spacer, thick one, then all this goes onto my knife. Line my post up. With the holes provided in the sheath. There we go, just like that. And you can see how this plate is allowing it to drop. The sheath itself is setting lower. So on this, out of my hardware pack, instead of the 3/8 screws, I'm going to take the 1/2-inch screws and put them in the top because I've added thickness. I've added thickness by adding that drop plate. So I'm going to get just a little more screw in the top. So I'm using a 1/2-inch up top. And then I'm going to use the standard 3/8 on the bottom because I didn't add any thickness at all to the bottom. I simply just put it back together. Again, I'll simply tighten it up to my desired tightness, but you probably want it pretty tight. You don't want to lose your knife and your sheath. That is your configuration. How this is going to work for you is if you want a lower ride off your belt, my belt's here, this will allow it to sit here. Factory standard configuration would be sitting about here. So if you do need it to drop a little lower to get by your clothing or maybe even a kit, something like that, body armor, whatever you've got going on, you can get it to ride a little lower. But that is a perfect setup if that's what you want. Again, this is included in the upgrade kit. All right, so we have talked about the leather belt configuration. We've talked about the drop loop configuration. Now we're going to talk about the MOLLE attachment configuration. So if you look here and you remember, this is the original configuration. We don't necessarily need this anymore. What we do need is the hardware, the posts, the screws, and the spacers. They came with the original configuration, so we'll set that out of the way. The upgrade kit comes with a secondary Boltron plate, which we will use to set up the MOLLE. So we have two malice clips here, and then we also have some short screws and then some very short posts too. So the way we're going to set that up is the box side is going to be your inside, so I always keep that up. So we'll take our post and push it down through the plastic where we want it, just like that. Once we have the short posts in place, we're going to mount it directly to the Boltron depending on how we want to carry it. So if you remember, this is how it looks factory, and that's how we're going to set it up. So I'm going to want to put my MOLLE attachment something like this. So when it attaches, I can run this down through my MOLLE and lock it into the box like that. But you can also turn it at an angle if you wanted to essentially, I tell you what, to essentially carry it in more of a horizontal or more of an angle configuration, depending on if you're stuck behind the, stuck in a vehicle, driving a vehicle or something like that, and you need to be able to access your knife from a seated position. Depending on what you need, depending on how you want to set it up on your kit, you can do that using these MOLLE attachments. So we're going to go ahead and put that together. I've got the post in. I'm going to directly mount the post to the plate. So posts go through, just snap directly in just like that. I'm going to hold them in place and put these short screws through the back and tighten them down. Again, all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver, nothing to it. Get them tightened down like you want them. Over. Holding it in place with my support hand. Once we have them screwed back on, we're simply going to mount the Boltron plate just like we've mounted it several times before with the spring clip configuration. So, being a right-hand carry guy, I'm simply going to set this over top. Take my post, if you remember, take our post, put them in. Then if you remember your spacers, I always go with this thinner spacer first, then the thicker spacer, thin spacer, thick spacer. And I go to the bottom just like that. Thin spacer, thick spacer, and the final one. The beauty about these malice clips is they'll hold these screw backs in place, these posts in place while I have to do my thing here. They're super flexible. Thin spacer, thick spacer. Then I mount it wherever I want to. I line it up with the holes, the eyelets, and the sheath. There, once I have it all held in there, I use my big hands to hold everything in place, roll it over, start my screws. Again, you're just using the standard hardware that came with your original sheath setup. You get a lot of options when you buy the Sheath upgrade kit. As you can see, there's a lot of different possibilities on what you can do, depending on how you're going to carry it, depending on your mission requirements, depending on your job, depending on if you're going to everyday carry it, just depending on what you're going to do. So once that's all locked back in place, I take it to my MOLLE. I simply run this through my MOLLE loops, down and into the box at the bottom, and it will clip and lock in just like that after we thread it through our molly. So, and you can pull it down and even make it a little tighter if you need to. So that is the setup. That is the Sheath upgrade kit from Winkler Knives. I highly recommend it if you're going to do anything besides a standard carry. So check it out on our website or give us a call here at Winkler Knives headquarters and we will get you fixed up. Thank you.